Hello, students. How are you? I hope you all are fine and you are paying proper attention towards your studies. In our earlier discussion, we discussed about the fundamental rights given in the Indian Constitution. Earlier, we have discussed two fundamental rights: one, the right to equality, and next, the right to freedom. So, continuing this chapter, in this third part, we are going to discuss about the third right, that is, right against exploitation. You know well that in our country, a number of people, million of people who are living in poverty, they belong to the neglected or exploited group of the society, and there is a big chance of their exploitation. Such type of exploitation is known as bonded labor. In this condition, many people are enslaved, and even human trafficking also take place. There are many poor people, either they are purchased or sold. In ancient time, the landlords and the financiers, whom normally we call Mahajans or rich people, they pressurized the poor people to work for them, and either they were paid less than they deserved, or many times they were not properly paid. Even today, many times we see a number of people have to work at brick kilns. So, in this way, they are exploited. Now, in our constitution, it has been declared an offense, and it is a punishable offense in our constitution. Secondly, child abuse. In fact, there is a provision in our constitution that the children below 14 years of age cannot be appointed in any factory, in any mine, or for any work that may cause danger for their life. In same way, child labor has been declared invalid, and therefore the children have been given a right to get education. In this way, the right against exploitation has been given in our constitution. The next right is right to freedom of religion. Now, in our constitution, each and every citizen has been given freedom to follow the religion according to his choice. And this freedom is considered the symbol of democracy. In ancient period, many rulers did not give authority or did not give right to people to follow the religion according to their choice. And the person who did not follow the official religion of the state either were put in prison, or they were forced to convert to the official religion, or they were killed. But In democracy, it has been accepted as a basic right, and people have been given right to follow the religion according to their choice. And each and every religion has been given equal importance. In India, people are free to choose their religion, they are free to follow any religion, they are free to profess any religion. It means a citizen has right to choose any religion, and he will not be given any punishment if he does not follow any religion. Here, freedom of religion means that a person is free to follow any religion, either to follow or not to follow, or to propagate any religion. But still, there are some obstacle on this right, like morality or on the base of health. Government or sarkar can impose some restrictions on such type of freedom. This right is not unlimited. To eradicate or to remove some social evils, government can interfere in this right. Like in our society, in some religion or some persons who believe in a particular way, that many times they give sacrifice at time of any celebration, like at marriage time, and this sacrifice can be in the form of either of an animal or even of human beings. So many times this creates conflict between the citizens and the government, because when government tries to stop such evils, the followers of that community feel that government is interfering in their religious matter. But we should remember that the effort of government, this effort of government is a good effort to keep them away from some evils. Sometimes it takes the form of a political issue. Our constitution has given right all the persons to propagate their religion. But many times people force other people, or they offer some like greed, or they try to force them to adopt a particular religion. While our constitution does not allow forcefully conversion of religion, it gives us right only to propagate the informations regarding that religion, so that the people may get attracted to that religion. But still, we can't force anyone to follow a particular religion. When there are different religions in a country, then it becomes necessary for the government to behave equally. That means government will not favor any particular religion, because our constitution clearly declares there is no official religion of the state, and the persons sitting at top posts, it is not necessary for them to be member of or to the follower of a particular religion, and this has been guaranteed in the right to equality. So our constitution ensures that while giving government jobs, there will be no discrimination on the basis of religion. Many times you see, while applying for some post, we have to mention some religion, like to which religion you belong, either Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, which community, which religion. But government tries to know through this process how many people of a particular religion have been given that job. Like if you are a Hindu or a Muslim, and you have to mention your religion. In this way, government keeps record that what is the percentage of a particular community people like Hindu or Muslim who are in government job, so that government may be able to make welfare schemes for that community. So in this way, our government gives right to us to follow any religion. Next right is cultural and educational right. When we talk about our society, then we feel that India is a land of diversity, where different communities live together. And this society has many variations, and some communities are very small, while some communities are large in size. In such condition, the majority has to take care of the minorities. They have to accept their existence. And this variation is our strong point. And that's why our constitution gave a right to the minorities also, so that they also may be able to preserve their features. And not only on the base of religion, but on the base of language they speak or the culture they follow. On this base also, we consider some community in majority or minority. And this minority is the group who have their own language or their own religion. And according to their population, in some parts they are in large size, but in some part they are in small numbers. And our constitution gives a right to these minorities to preserve their language, their script, their culture, and to even to develop it. And to do so, such people can open their educational institutions. They can preserve their culture. And many times, government avails financial help to such institution. And while doing so, the government does not think whether they belong to majority or minority. It means government will not discriminate on any base. And in this way, government tries to preserve such cultures. In our next lecture, we will discuss about the most important fundamental right, that is the right to constitutional remedies. So, with the help of these points, you have to elaborate the rights which we have mentioned today. Okay, goodbye. Thank you.